Your money or your life. This is very, very important. I think a lot of people need to start realizing this concept, this title. This is actually a title of a book called Your Money or Your Life. And I started reading the free audiobook I want to add on YouTube. It's not quite as nice as on Audible because, you can pause it, but it doesn't go by chapter, but it's absolutely free, guys. And I definitely recommend it for you guys to take a look at it. The reason I come up with this, most of the subject matter, especially when it comes to finances, is that I'm kind of hanging out with my friends, right? And then, we're having a barbecue, having a few beers or something. And then the subject matter comes up of, going through some struggling and stuff. How are you? What's new? What's going on? Oh, same old, just working and trying to keep up with the bills. And then, so I kind of pry and I ask people like, well, what's going on? Can I help in any way? And, staying up late at night, people start spilling their beans and kind of going, I've been finding a lot of people going through financial hardship, especially in this day and age here. And this is the last week of August of 2022. And, this is like a common occurrence. And I wanted to make this show today, Your Money or Your Life, to spread the word out that there's free information out there on the internet, on YouTube, like such as your Money or Your Life. But I want to kind of explain why, guys, why things will never change for you if you don't take this in consideration, this phrase, your money or your life. So what does it mean? It means that if you don't get your monetary system, if you don't get a systematic approach towards your life, this mindset, and I know the mindset is not very sexy, but all the books I've been reading on financials, on permaculture, that throughout the years, there's always a philosophy about things. And if we don't get the philosophy, then we don't understand the systems, right? Things will never change. In permaculture, we need to understand the philosophy of stacking functions, about contours of land. When the rain comes down, just like a bank, everything is a battery, guys. Money included, your life as well, right? You only have so much in you and you get tired. In permaculture, we have these things called swales, and they'll hold the water on a hillside instead of letting it all run off and cause deterioration. And we can actually utilize that water that we trap, just like we can do money, and let it slowly seep into the land over the whole entire summer, right? And this happens again once the rainfall comes and brings some sort of resources brought to the situation. We're able to store it and let it just kind of bleed out or energize in a small trickle to keep things alive and keep things floating. Now, a lot of people, with their money, they have it coming in. They just don't understand the concept. It's a closed loop circle. I'm sorry, a closed loop's not even a circle. We want to turn that into a circle, right? And I'm not here today to give you guys like your whole monetary, like here's exactly what to do, because I don't know what your situations are. We just have to understand the concept that it's like a U pipe, right? You stick something inside the pipe, it goes in, it does its purpose, and then it spits out the exhaust, never to be seen again. That's your money. So this book, Your Money or Your Life, is basically training people, and it's very simple, guys. It goes through a lot of the philosophies and the reasons, examples and stuff why. But a lot of people don't understand this concept, and that's why they're always being bled dry. It's a system where, just like the water that comes onto your property and you put inside these water catchment systems, as it slowly absorbs in the ground, it leaves and goes on to maybe your neighbor's house, never to be seen again, right? Unless we start changing things around. Unless we go make some money and basically, metaphorically speak, create our own well where we're able to pump water out, or maybe strategically take ourselves to a lowland, right? This is probably a really good example where water's coming off of two cliffs. Maybe let's just pretend geographically you expand it out from where you're at on your home and you're in the bowl. There's hills all around you, but you're at the lowest spot. What does that mean? That means you strategically placed yourself in an environment where all of the water from all your neighbors, whatever they don't use, is going to settle up in that area, right? I live in Sunnyside, California, in San Diego. That would be the most ideal spot. Being a natural farmer and a permaculturalist, I've kind of see the areas as I'm driving through, and you see them a lot wetter, a lot more trees and things growing in those lower areas. What does that also mean? That means that you can dig yourself a well and you can start pumping water out to maybe grow fruit trees and produce and raise animals and things more easily than where anybody else can, because of where you strategically put yourself. Now, we can't strategically, I guess we can in life, strategically place ourselves where there's areas of money I guess that's exactly what I do. Behind me is a giant mansion I'm doing right now on a construction job. And I've strategically placed myself in this area because there's lots of money, right? I can go live in the poor town where there's not a lot of money and just get by. Or I can fringe the wealthy and have access to a nice monetary system that I've created for myself. Well, a lot geographically where you place yourself, mentally where you put yourself is very, very important as well. I mean, you can make it almost no matter where you're at, right? If you play your cards right and you understand the philosophy. So I highly recommend that you guys take this concept of your money or your life. Nothing will change in your life unless you living on the system, living in this matrix, living in this exchange system, guys. It's kind of what when I was listening to my friend we're like a bunch of cows, right? And I know that probably sucks to hear, but we kind of are, right? And what do I mean by that is that we are set in an environment where we eat grass and things, and we're getting milked for our money, right? At the grocery store, for gas, for electricity, for water. And where all these things come from, they come from money, right? And most people aren't, I guess the public education system has failed a lot of people where it doesn't teach them, well, how do I budget? How do I get the flow, right? So we're like cows in the sense that you don't have to go drink from the water trough if you don't want to, right? If you have access, we're in a big giant field, you can go walk over to a lake and get some water there. But most of us choose to take the easy path and go drink from the water trough, which meaning the grocery store, the corn that the farmer puts out. Maybe we can go make our purchases, right? We'll buy some groceries, but we're only limited to what the farmer brings us. When we look at life on a whole, we are living in a city, you're living in a home, and you're dependent, right? That's why we're using the example of a cow. Your money has to go out to what? To electricity, to refrigerate the food that you buy so it doesn't go bad, right? I guess I want to bring this point home. A lot of people say, well, money's not everything. Well, it pretty much is the gasoline. It's what keeps the lights on and everything, right? Down to, sometimes down to even the air you breathe. If you live in the bad areas like Los Angeles when I was a kid, right? I don't even know what that means down in Los Angeles. I guess the air was just so bad. You're paying taxes and it's just a horrible situation. My lungs would my upper chest would hurt. Felt like I had bronchitis. But yeah, we work for this dollar. We spend it on things that are available to us that they bring to us. Your water, for me, I personally hate the fact that I'm drinking water where I'm sitting around me right now by these mansions. You can literally see the fences and the trees all white. They've got chlorine in that water, right? If you don't separate that stuff, get yourself a really good filtration source, right? Then you're drinking chlorine, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. There's not enough rain here. Think they'd even let you catch the rain off the roofs, it's putting stuff in vats and things like that, right? I don't think it would look unsightly. So we need to understand that we are restricted and we're reliant upon a system. And then if the system goes down, something happens, we're deeply affected because we are consumers. And we are definitely consumers of the dollar. I hope I'm explaining this all right here. And if you're not watching what you're spending and knowing what's going out, then you will always lose. You will be in the position such as some of these acquaintances and friends of mine where you listen to them talk about all this hardship. And if you boil it down, right, if you didn't say a word, just listen to what the other person's saying and try to figure for yourself, what is the source of this problem? I guarantee you guys, like 90% of life's problems are because of money. So that's why I wanted to make this your money or your life, right? You need to start tracking out what's going out. And that's what this book is. It's kind of got a little boring for me the first couple hours because it's already stuff that I've been doing in my life. But what was cool is it sparked the light in me because these are things that I thought of on my own and it kind of verified it, I guess, right? I don't need any verification really. My life runs relatively smooth, but it's nice to hear that there's like these professionals out there, right? That they've written books. I haven't written any books, and they're agreeing with my philosophy 100%. So in the book too, is one of the things that got me was a lot of the wealthy people, they know exactly what's going out and what's coming in, right? And that's one of the first things that a lot of successful people will tell you is that what changed their life, right? That's what I want to bring home. What will change your life is when you start marking down every little penny that goes out. Every little penny. When for instance, for me, I live very tiny and I have to take my clothes to a laundromat, right? When I'm drying my clothes, it's $1. That gets logged down. That gets logged in. And as the pennies and the dollars and the hundreds and sometimes the thousands of dollars, they all add up. I get a general idea of where I'm at per month. And one of the things maybe I'd like to share with you guys too is that when the money's going out at such an extent, you won't know whether you're able to afford to, say, rent a house, right? Or in my case, I'm looking to buy. One of the things you can go off with, I think it's Dave Ramsey and lenders in general of real estate, even homeowners that want to rent a house out. I've been looking at possibly renting a house, I don't know, expanding. And one of the things I noticed, they say they want to say 2.5 of your income, right? They want you to see that you're making maybe 2.5 times what your income is the rent. You must be making that 2.5 times to be able to afford to stay in this house. That's strategic and that's very smart, because the person could rent the house and end up finding out 3-4 months later they can't afford it and they have to move. And it happens all the time. And that's one of the things that I'm looking at as far as I don't understand why people bought high. They continue to buy these houses at high levels, right? At the highest cost, at the peak. You want to buy low and sell high. People are buying high. Well, are people strategically running their life, your money or your life? Are they going to be able to afford these things when inflation and the cost of living starts to climb up, right? And they're paying things at a high rate. I predict that I think what's going to happen, I don't know to which caliber, which extent, but we are going to have major crashes where these people just basically overextended themselves because they weren't monitoring, they weren't treating this like your money or your life. Are they making if you're going to spend a mortgage or a rent or even a mortgage out here in San Diego, California, guys, right now, 2022, you're looking at like 32, at low 32, more like probably like $4,000 a month. So are you making $12,000 a month? And are you going to improve your life in the future if you're spending $4,000 a month on rent or a mortgage? You're spending another, say, $4,000, say, on food, gas, car bills, electricity, all those kind of things. Is there anything left over for you to put towards retirement or maybe to invest in something else, right? Or are you just living paycheck to paycheck? Well, I got the nice house now and I can afford that, but I'm just breaking even. And breaking even is a very dangerous area to be in, because things, as we see right now, start fluctuating. Inflation just starts rising. The cost of gas goes up $2 a gallon, right? We got so many interesting things happening that these variables could tip and just end up sliding you right off the scale. So in order for people to survive financially, I didn't even say too in your health. Can you afford to eat nice organic foods, right? I've said this before. A lot of people say, well, I can't afford to eat like you. You must be rich. No, I live in a tiny house. My overhead is super low. I choose to not keep up with the Joneses and look like I'm cool, right? Because I don't think I could even make myself look cool. But I'll eat grass-fed beefs and organic fruits and vegetables and things. I buy the best of the best. When like 95% of the time, for me and my children, we eat very good and we eat home-cooked meals. I have time to be able to cook because I've managed my life. So I don't know. I'm babbling on. I guess this can go on forever. I'm trying to keep these things down to 10 minutes. We're already 13 minutes in. Guys, your money or your life, you need to take this serious. Your life will not change until you harness this, until you start taking control of it. If you guys have any ideas of things that you're doing, comment below. If there's anything specific that you guys want to hear from me, let me know. But I really, really think that you guys should go out there, and it's absolutely free. Every night when you go to bed or when you're driving to work or wherever, or jogging, doing whatever you're doing, pop this in and listen to this book, Your Money or Your Life. This will change. The more you guys educate yourself financially, I think, the more educated you guys get, the better your life is going to become. That is my life, guys. I'm living proof. That's why I started this whole show. Is I just looked at what I was doing in the past and look what I'm doing now, and life is so much better. It doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be like this where we're living paycheck to paycheck. It's just that a lot of us choose, I guess, to ignore it. And I'm sad to say, a lot of the people I talked to when I started telling them about all the things I've done and things that what they can do, you could see the lights going off. They don't want to do it. They want convenience. So I think you need to ante up to yourselves and say, well, if I want to be a person that's going to live paycheck to paycheck and be a renter for the rest of my life, right? Maybe possibly have to work at Walmart when you're 70, right? Then, just accept it and stop beating yourself up. But I guarantee you, I think that very important, the last thing I want to say, a lot of people hear what I'm saying, these strategies of life of like counting every single penny, right? And at first it's work because you have to change your life around. I think that the people in power have everybody spinning so perfectly that there's so much going on. They're stressed out like, I don't need anything extra in my life, and I'm just going to continue throwing my money at grocery bills and gas and cars and things that I can't afford, right? And they're just scooping stuff up. That's again why it says you're like a cow. We are like cows. To a certain extent, I am as well. But once you start practicing, or once you get the mindset, it takes me like 10 times sometimes to hear something, and finally it sinks in and the light bulb goes off, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But my life has changed dramatically. It was a lot of work in the beginning, I guess is what I want to say. But after I got it implemented, I started getting so much free time, right? I don't have to go to work today, right? I'll take 2 months, 3 months off. Those of you guys, any of you guys who follow me, right? That's how I'm able to do all these things. That's how I'm able to eat ribeye steaks on Saturday, right? With tri-tip and smoked ribs and a giant feast, right? Because I've monitored. My life changed when I started harnessing the mathematics and the money of my life. So it's hard work. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard work and it's some sacrifice to certain things. But once you get it implemented, once you understand, then it just starts to flow like anything, right? You guys got on the bike, maybe you fell over a couple times. You start monitoring using Apple's numbers or Excel spreadsheet on your phone or even a piece of paper. Save all your receipts, log them down, right? It'll only take you probably about 30 minutes, at the maybe if you do it every weekend, and you start to see where your life's going, how much money you can save. Maybe you need to make more. Maybe you want to make less and go live tiny and not have to work so hard so you have more time, right, to sunbathe and the things of that nature. So yes, it's a little bit of work, but I guarantee it will change your life. And the last thing, I'm going to say it again, if you do not harness, if you do not know where your money is going, you will always stay the same. You will always stay the same. You will never get where you want to go. You will not pass go, right? You won't get the get out of jail free card until you own up to yourselves, educate yourselves, and you take the reins of your life instead of being the cow that's kind of being pastured, wherever they want you to go. So guys, that's the show today. That's what I think. What do you guys think?